A female police officer allegedly discriminated against a co-worker. Says the department then retaliated against him for trying to help.
Yeah, now they are suing. This happened in Oakview, just north of Kansas City. Investigator Jessica McMaster talked with the two officers.
Former Oakview police officer Kim Wiley says during her tenure with the department, she was discriminated against and targeted simply because she's a woman. She says she was ultimately pushed out. Her colleague and sergeant says his troubles with the department began not long after.
It wasn't a secret discrimination. It was open discrimination that was complained about quite frequently.
It was borderline violent, the interactions that, these individuals would have. And I would go to the chief and he would discount it immediately.
It's a fight that former officers Kim Wiley and Marquand George say began years ago and accelerated in 2009 when Wiley was investigated for this traffic stop. At the time, she was accused of assaulting the 90-year-old man behind the wheel. She was cleared by Internal Affairs, but later indicted by Highway Patrol, which kept her off the streets.
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car!
The video, which clearly shows some sort of glitch, led a jury to believe it could have been tampered with. Wiley was acquitted 3 years later. She says the police chief called her that very day to offer her her job back.
You're my hero. You've done nothing wrong. You stuck it out to the end. Come get your badge and your gun. You're coming back to work.
He was telling me that he was going to bring her back. I was going to train her. I was going to make sure that she had the training that she needed.
But Wiley says she quickly learned there wasn't a job waiting for her, despite her claims that she was told on several occasions there would be. She blames it on department politics.
There's very much a culture of sort of macho, women don't belong.
George says he witnessed Wiley being bullied by another male officer during her time with the force, with words that he says are too graphic to repeat.
She's not a weak person. She's not somebody who complains about every little thing. But this was big stuff. This was stuff that would have gotten you disciplined in junior high school.
Wiley, now out of a job, hired an attorney who began asking George questions about Wiley's accusations. George didn't hold back. That's when he claims his job was threatened by the chief.
If you continue to assist her in any shape or form, you're going to be, find yourself in the same position as her, fighting for a job.
But he did continue, and that's when he says things got worse.
All of a sudden, his friend, the chief police friend, filed a complaint against me. They suspended me for 3 days.
George says the chief tacked on 30 more days, and on top of that, he would be demoted. All tactics, he says, were used to bully him into resigning.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to just resign as long as this don't make my file.
But George hasn't been able to find work as a police officer ever since. The two former officers have now filed separate lawsuits against the Village of Oakview and the department. Wiley's accusations of sexual harassment have been tossed out.
Sometimes you feel as though you've spent years in the military, years getting a college education, and when you're discriminated against and you lose those things, your career, it can have a devastating impact on those around you even.
We did reach out to the Oakview Police Department to get their side of the story, but the chief didn't want to comment. The department's attorney, however, tells us the accusations are not true. I'm investigator Jessica McMaster, 41 Action News.